Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Racing PodBlast with me, Tony Mack, and Ben Aitken from Narrowing the Field. And we head to Ascot this week for the PodBlast, covering 3 handicaps from their Saturday card, including the big stay-in handicap chase of the day, the Sodexo Live Gold Cup. And we also have a new feature on the pod this week, hosted by new PodBlast member, which is very exciting, coming up, Brownie Carslake. He'll be with us a little bit later on. That'll come in a bit, though. First, some racing analysis, starting with the Grundon Waste Management Handicap Chase, due off at 2:05 on Saturday. Ben, welcome along, mate, and can you start us off with that one?
Morning, Tony. Yep, the Grundon Waste Management Handicap Chase. It's a mouthful. 13 set to go to post here. Le de Sud is easily the most interesting of the field. He's now entering his second season over fences. He brings some solid novice chase form to the table from last year. Won his first 4 starts before finishing a close 4th in Yarkle and then 3rd in the Grade 1 Maghull Chase at Entry on his final start. Don't think those 2 defeats are a big surprise, as he does seem at his best in the October to February period. He's 4 wins in 2 places from his 8 starts in those months, compared to 0 wins and 2 places from his 5 starts in March and April. And there are signs that he's possibly better in the early to middle part of the season. And the Dunsell horse probably is the horse with the most upside to him in the race. And he's on the short list. And Martador, he won the race last year off a mark of 1:34. He then backed it up with an even more impressive performance over course and distance off a mark of 1:40. His form dipped badly after that second Ascot win, but he didn't have his prime conditions on any of those next 5 starts, so I'm inclined to forgive him those efforts, despite the fact he was beaten wide margins each time. He's back down to a mark of 1:41 for this run, this start of the season. He gets the 5-point claim in Ned Fox as well, and more importantly, he looks to have his prime conditions to shoot for this time. At trips of further than 2 miles and less than 2 mile 5, wearing cheek pieces and away from very undulating tracks. Under those conditions, he's 5 wins and a second from 6 starts, and Martador also makes my shortlist. At Boot Hill, he won the race 2 years ago in 2023, and then he did what Martador did last year by following up over course and distance next time out. At Boot Hill has been winless since that win, but he's raced exclusively in Grade 1 and Grade 2 company, and I don't think he's realistically up to that level. If you look at Boot Hill outside of graded and listed level over trips of 2 miles to 2 mile 1, he's 6 wins from 6 starts, and that's 6 of his 7 career wins. Conditions he meets with here, and he's in my thoughts as well, Boot Hill. And of the others, Special Cadeau catches the eye. This is only his 6th start over fences and his first in a handicap chase. And he's still won with an unexposed profile on his side. His trainer, Henry de Bromhead, he also has some strong stats with similar types to Special Cadeau. Since 2022, with 6 and 7-year-olds on handicap chase debut, with 0 or 1 previous chase wins and running off a break of between 25 and 45 days, De Bromhead is 14 wins and 6 places from just 33 qualifiers, 42% win strike rate and just short of 100 points profit. Also worth noting that Special Cadeau's 2 wins to date have come on right-handed tracks on decent ground, conditions he gets or should get on Saturday. And Special Cadeau is one of 2 playing this. I think 9-1 or bigger looks good value for the 7-year-old. And Martador is a little play. I'm willing to forgive him his last few efforts because he just didn't have conditions in his favour. He gets conditions in his favour here, and Venetia Williams tends to have her Ascot chasers in November and December ready to fire. Since 2019, with those aged 8 or younger, she has 16 wins from 27 runners, 59% win strike rate, and over 74 points profit. So Special Cadeau, and Martador for me. Tony, what you got for this handicap chase?
Yeah, some good ones there, Ben. Interesting ones. Well, I've got two bigger prices. Teddy Blue for Harry Durham. Used to be with Gary and Josh Moore. Ridden by Brendan Powell at around 16 to 1 on a bit of a drift, actually, this week. Since Wednesday, and we did start at 10 to 1. He's out to 16 to 1, but I will stick with Teddy Blue as a distance winner, running well in February and March early this year at Huntingdon, winning at Huntingdon and Kempton over a similar trip, and finishing second at Newbury in later on in March, and at the end of last season, possibly a step too far, was 7th of 10, well beaten over 14 lengths behind San Brewy, who's also in this race, but I think he can go well in this for trainer Harry Durham. Teddy Blue, distance winner there at around 16s, and around 20 to 1 in the Native River colours of Brocade Racing for Joe Tizard. Freddie Gingell takes the ride on Western General here. He was in the winner's enclosure again in February at Wincanton and Hereford again in March, winning on good ground. He finished the season at Chepstow, but he was pulled up behind Sant Segal in a big handicap chase, a 9-runner handicap chase over 19 and a half furlongs on good ground. So again, end of season stuff there, but Western General usually can go well fresh. Finished third at Chepstow around November last year. So Western General for the Joe Tizard team 20 to 1, and Teddy Blue for Harry Durham, trainer Harry Durham, at 16 to 1. Moving on, the 310, the Lavazza handicap hurdle, class 2 over 1 mile, 7.5 furlongs here, Ben. What's your thoughts on the Lavazza?
Yeah, a few unexposed types in this handicap hurdle. Those are the ones that stand out to me. Indemnity for Emma Lavelle is the first that catches my eye. He's an unbeaten 3 from 3 since being sent handicapping. And £6 rise for his win at Market Raisin a couple of weeks ago still has him on what looks a winnable mark at 121. His wins have all come on decent ground. He's 4 wins at a third from 5 starts on good ground. So conditions should be in his favour on Saturday. And Emma Lavelle also has some solid stats with our last time out winners in the September to November period, especially in handicaps with our runners that start at 10 to 1 or shorter. 36 winners and 30 placed from 121 runners. 30% win strike rate, 55% win and place strike rate, and over 53 points profit. And indemnity is definitely one of interest here. Dancing Glance for Anthony Hannibal. It's another that brings an unexposed profile to the table. This is only his 8th hurdle start and only his 4th in handicap company. He's running a big race at Newton Abbey last time out before stumbling on landing at the second last flight. And that cost him any chance of laying down a strong challenge in the closing stages. Not hard to mark that run up on the bare form. He's only £1 higher here on 117, and that looks a mark he should definitely be up to defying for too long. Dance and Glance. High Fibre is the other unexposed type that catches my attention. He's yet to win any of his 3 handicap hurdle starts to date, but they have all come over 2 mile 4 or further. He doesn't look a stayer to me, so this drop back to the minimum trip looks a smart move. His trainer, Harry Fry, he's got some solid stats in Ascot hurdle races, especially with his horses that have 9 or less hurdle starts to their name. 19 winners and 8th place from 42 runners, 45% win strike rate, 64% win and place strike rate, over 67 points profit, and he looks overpriced in the betting at 14 to 1 or bigger. High Fibre. I'm going to play 2 of that 3. That 2 being Indemnity at around 8 to 1 or bigger, and High Fibre at 14 to 1 or bigger. So Indemnity and High Fibre for me. Tony, what you got for the Lavazza handicap hurdle?
Love it. I agree with you with 2 of those, mate, without a doubt. I'm having Indemnity for Emma Lavelle, Ben Jones. I won't repeat what you've just said, but he's won his last 3 at Huntingdon, Warwick, and more recently at Market Raisin, beating 6 rivals, 1 and 3/4 lengths as the favourite. He's 9 to 1. He has been backed 12 to 1 on Wednesday. He's into 10 to 1 yesterday, and this morning he's into 9 to 1. for Andrew Gemmell and Richard Lavelle. That's husband of the trainer, and Andrew Gemmell, of course, and a big trainer, big owner in that in Emma Lavelle's stable. Indemnity at 9-1, building on his last win just 18 days ago at Market Raisin. And Dance and Glance, I'm with you on that one as well. He was beaten favourite last time out at Newton Abbot. He finished second of 8, beaten 4 lengths, but you can forgive him that. First run since May. He was in the Grade 3, the Swinton Handicap Hurdle, finished 5th of 16 in that, behind our champ. Again, he was beaten favourite in that one. Harry Cobden was in the saddle. Anthony Honeyball has Rex Dingle available tomorrow for Dance and Glance. He's around 13-2, and he can build on that 2nd of 8 on his seasonal debut at Newton Abbot earlier this month, 2 weeks ago. Dance and Glance at 13-2, and Indemnity for me at around 9-1. I think we can get a good run out of those two, and of course not forgetting the ones I agree with Ben there, and don't forget High Fibre as well. The first time cheek pieces can go well for trainer Harry Fry. Right, now it's time for our new PodBlast segment. The PodBlast Racing News, a satirical look at racing headlines from recent days. With our new PodBlast member, Brownie Carslake. Take it away, Brownie.
Good day, PodBlasters. I'm Brownie Carslake, and here's this week's Racing News Blast. Rumours are rife that the best horse ever to grace God's green earth, Constitution Hill, is out for the season, as he managed to get pieces of his cotton wool wrapping lodged deep in his ears. The horse was heard shouting, "Daddy, I'm deaf. Daddy, I'm deaf. I've had enough, Daddy. Daddy, no." His participation in the specially designed 3-runner, 2-hurdle race against the recently unretired Sprinter Saka and Altior is now firmly in doubt. Aidan O'Brien was crowned champion trainer for the 8th time last week. In typical O'Brien fashion, he thanked the following people: Seamus, Shona, Sammy, Declan, Wee Patrick, Rory, who runs the corner shop down the road, Ronan Keating, Father Ted, Father Dougal, Big Dunk, Tony Cascarino, Mrs. O'Murphy, who used to babysit him when he was 5, Fergal Sharkey, Ted Hastings from Line of Duty, the Irish one from One Direction, Enya Nadine from Girls Aloud, Brian McFadden, the good-looking one from The Cause, Jedward, the guy on the other end of the phone that he keeps talking to, big greeting-faced Johnny G, Mary Joseph and the baby Jesus, and of course the lads. And finally, racing presenter and all-round good guy Josh Avanalafi has suggested that a move to a Saturday card at the Cheltenham Festival should definitely happen, and that it should be declared a family day. Taking things a step further, he also suggests that the remaining Chuckle brother, that is it Barry or is it Paul, should be on commentary duty for the day. The betting ring should be replaced by a massive soft play area, complete with old-school tic-tac men handing out free packets of Haribo Star Mix. The tic-tac men will, of course, be christened TikTok men for the day, as we need to be down with the kids for Family Day. And that's this week's Racing News Blast. I'm Brownie Carslake. Now back to the Scottish lad and the other bloke.
Thank you very much, Brownie Carslake there. That's fantastic. Thanks for that, Brownie. Fantastic stuff. Brownie will be back in the next episode of the PodBlast. Hopefully. Yes, back to Saturday's racing, Ben, and the Sodexo Gold Cup over, let's have a look, Class 1 Handicap over 3 miles. I've just had a pop-up there about the Zoom meeting. But anyway, I'll just clear that off script. 3:45 at Ascot, Sodexo Live Gold Cup. Ben, what's your thoughts on the big one?
I think Brownie's going to be a problem, but Sodexo Gold Cup. Some interesting racetrends to consider for this handicap. 10 of the last 12 winners meeting the following. Aged 8 or younger, 18 or less chase starts, 11 or less handicap chase starts, and ran over 2 mile 4 to 3 mile 2 last time out, and won or were beaten no more than 15 lengths. 4 of the field meet those stats here: Lecoq Hardy, Beachcomber, Baloo, and Blow Your Wad. Lecoq Hardy is the one Irish rider in the field, running here for Henry de Bromhead. He's still unexposed over fences. This is only his 6th chase start. It's only his 3rd in a handicap. And he comes here after finishing 4th in the Kerry National last month. That race is already working out well. The 2nd won the staying handicap at Cheltenham last week, and the 3rd won the Munster National on his next start. So Le Coq Hardy brings some strong recent form to the table. His 2 wins to date have come on right-handed tracks on decent ground. So conditions should be suitable for him on Saturday, and he looks a player here, Le Coq Hardy. Beachcomber may still have a bit more to come over fences in his 2nd season over the larger obstacles. He's got his prime conditions to gun for here. Trips of 3 mile to 3 mile 1 in October to January, where he is 3 wins and 2 places from 5 starts. If he gets a solo lead out front of this, then, and there's a chance he might get a solo lead, then he could take some pegging back. Chance he might need the run to sharpen him up, but I can certainly see a situation where Beachcomber runs well in this. Baloo was last seen finishing 3rd in the summer plate at Market Raisin, off the same mark he runs off here. And that does look like it was a hot renewal of the race. 6 of the field having won a race since. Baloo won over these fences at Ascot last November off a lengthy break, so he handles the track and he should be ready to fire. So he does need to prove he stays 3 mile trips. He pulled up on his 2 previous starts over 3 miles. And Blow Your Wad is the other on the Trends shortlist. This season was a bit of a write-off last year. He didn't have his first run until late February, but he could still have more to offer over fences after only 7 chase runs. It's interesting that he comes here off a wind up and with a first-time visor applied. This is the 2nd wind up of his career. He won first time out off his first wind up, and he's also won 2 of his 5 starts when he's had different headgear on than his last run, whether that be headgear applied or headgear removed. So he has shown an upkick in form previously of both a wind up and a headgear switch. He's also stepping up past 2 mile 5 for the first time here, so there's plenty of potential reasons as to why he could bounce back to form in this race. Blow Your Wad. Or Wad? I'm saying Blow Your Wad. It's a tricky looking race to pick apart, guys, but I'm going to cover 2 of the 4 on my short list. To be in Le Coq Hardy at 13-2 or bigger, and Blow Your Wad at 7-1 or bigger. So Le Coq Hardy and Blow Your Wad for me, Tony.
Good stuff.
What you got for the Sodexo Gold Cup?
Yeah, I've got 2 different ones again here. Oliver's Travels for Mickey Bowen and Toby McCain-Mitchell, who saw riding a winner during the week. He looked very stylish young jockey, Toby McCain-Mitchell. That's around 20-1. He's a distance winner. He's won 2 of his last 3 starts, including he's had a bit of a summer jumping campaign as well. So whether he's at the end of that, they've all been on good ground. But Mickey Bowen's keeping him going at the minute. He did win at Cartmel and New Toxeter in August and September, and then was more recently seen 7 days ago at Kelso, finishing 2nd of 6, beating half a length behind Duke of Deception at around 5-1 in those blinkers. The blinkers stay on today, and but very interestingly, Toby McCain-Mitchell comes in for the ride and claiming £5 there on Oliver's Travels at around 20-1, and the other one is Henry's Friend, course and distance winner for Ben Pauling, and Ben Jones in the saddle. He's around 8-1, and he hasn't been seen since April, since finishing 8th of 23 in the Scottish Grand National, Grade 3 Scottish Grand National, finishing 8th of 23, beaten 53 lengths, and before that he was in the Ultima, finishing 8th of 24, beaten 28 lengths. Obviously they were well above his pay grade, I think, for Henry's Friend, and tomorrow he could see him bouncing back to form here earlier in the season. Henry's Friend, course and distance winner for Ben Pauling, 8-1, and Oliver's Travel at 20-1. For me, many thanks for listening to the latest edition of the Racing PodBlast, and very best of luck with your bets at Ascot this weekend. You can catch me and Brownie Carslake on 3B's Radio Bridlington every morning from Monday to Friday, and you can catch more from Ben over on narrowingthefield.co.uk. Thanks very much, Ben, and we'll see you all again soon. Cheers, Ben.
Cheers, Tom.